Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill, and today we are going to play with our 3 worst / most hated tier 10 heavy tanks. Please place your bets. What do you think is the worst or my most disliked tank, speaking about the tier 10 heavy tanks? And while you are typing the comment down below, fellas, please keep in mind we have extra channel where you can find mid-tier gameplay, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7. It is quite easy to find. Type Skill4ltu Extra in the YouTube search, or alternatively check out the description and you will find everything. Plus, on top of that, index page if you are struggling with equipment you're supposed to use, or you are struggling with the field modifications, you can find absolutely everything in the index page. You can find mark of excellence values, you can find the clan wars setup, speaking about the clan wars battles, random battles, videos overall. It is quite easy to use, and hopefully it is quite easy thing to find what you are looking for. Plus, on top of that, we are working on more things like crew setups and everything, so work is in progress. And in the same time, I want to take a second to appreciate every single of you who are supporting us in a way, buying us a banana in the index page, in our Patreon page, or in the YouTube section where you are clicking that join button and literally becoming our sponsors in this way. So thank you very much, fellas, for that. I hope I am worth it, and I hope you are enjoying the content. And now, if you are watching the video in the bed while your wife or beloved one sleeping next to you, remember to tune down the tone, and let's start our journey and let's teleport into the game number 1. And the tank number 1 is the Type 5 Heavy. I believe this is not a big surprise, and in fact we are playing with this tank with a derp gun, even though it is a bit less competitive than other gun, but I find myself having way more fun while having this 900 alpha damage whenever we are penetrating someone. So if you would pay attention to the standard penetration, which is 75, it is pretty much useless ammunition. I would highly recommend not to shoot it. Gold penetration is 192, which is pretty much twice bigger, and this is way better. You can do 900 damage to many tanks, many tier 8s, and hopefully the things will go well and we will finish this battle with a 3,000 to 4,000 damage, just like a showcase. Holy bananas, I almost crushed this gentleman. Meanwhile, STB is saying hi, so we are saying what's up back to him. And at this point I decided to go into the 8th line, because in this line we should not, I repeat, we should not meet Chieftain or Object 705A. Skill, why are you afraid of the Chieftain or 705A? The thing is, the chance we are going to penetrate them is pretty much below 0. So it is not really worth for us to approach the fight which we can't win. Instead of fighting against the tanks which has extremely humongous armor, we can approach someone who doesn't have that much armor. For example, Borat. As you can see, fellas, Borat is kind of sitting in the open field here, and if we are going to be lucky, we should be able to smack him for 900 in the face like there is no tomorrow. Or alternatively, we might miss our shot and we might do 0, which would be quite sad if you would ask me, but this is World of Tanks and it can happen as well. Luckily for us, our standard B is trying to get involved into this battle, so we are trying to help him. We are crafting a good angle, and we will help him by any means, by any doubts, right? Meanwhile, our Vaza 55 is holding enemies who are playing here, and that's pretty nice. And all we need to do at this point, we need to wait until enemies will decide to be aggressive, and oh boy, they will. So let's take a second, and this CS 59, he will make a mistake. That was a mistake, but unfortunately the gun handling, well, you see, this is a derp gun, and since it is a derp gun, well, you cannot expect to hit every single shot without bouncing, right? It is completely understandable. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, all we need to do at this point, we need to wait until he will peak once again, if he will peak, right? There is no guarantees. All we need to do, we need to cross our fingers and hope for the best, pretty much. We know enemy Wafflecock is sitting somewhere here, and I would love to smack him once or twice, but I don't really think this is going to be an option for us. Meanwhile, AMBT peaked and I wasn't patient enough to punish him. But you know what? I have a feeling this gentleman might think I am not paying attention at this side, and he might peak again. And if it is going to be the case, we should smack him. So once again, let's take our time and let's wait until he will peak. And even though he peaked sideways, we hit him only for 200. Now, I know it sounds very, very bad, it looks very bad, but this is World of Tanks for you, and nothing what you can change there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's just how this game works, right? If the RNG is not in your side, unfortunately, but you cannot do absolutely anything in this situation, right? And we are just trying to be patient, fellas. That's all we are trying to do at this point. Once again, we do not want to approach the fight which we cannot win, and at this point we care only about the Vata. Luckily for us, Vata was naive and he was sitting in the typical bush, so we blind shotted him to death. I do not know how much damage we did for him, but I hope it was at least like 900 damage or so. But obviously time will show absolutely everything. And this is the way, fellas, how you are playing with a heavy tank which is not really that competitive. I know it sounds weird, but you are not going into the heavy line because you simply cannot afford this. And instead of going into the heavy line, you are playing somewhere in the medium line, and in the medium line you can actually do a lot of bad things for the enemies as well, right? So keep this in mind. Meanwhile, what we are waiting for, we are waiting until the Borat will try to peak like this, because there is a possibility he is going to do so. If he will try to peak like this, we should be able to smack him for a lot of damage. That's the plan, that's the dream, and that's the hope. And believe me, I am very well aware where we are sitting in this battle. I know our situation is far away from being perfect or from being ideal, but in the same time, in certain situations, you cannot behave like a super heavy tank, because you are not going to be able to do absolutely anything. And in fact, all you will be able to do is to take one for the team, and after that you can cry in the corner, Russia. Unfortunately, we missed the shot like so, and defender is showing dominance. Defender pretty much penetrated us, and defender did quite a bit of damage, but once again, that's okay. Skill, you know you are not winning this game. I'm very, very well aware of that. We are not winning this battle, but boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to say we would have some kind of alternative option here, but we do not, okay? So let's not have the empty illusions of being, oh, Skill, you are a heavy tank, you should be able to boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this is not so simple, you see? This is not so simple, fellas. Anyways, we eliminated the gun, which is always nice and always welcome. We know object is not an easy target for us, and he is not easy gun to deal with. And in the same time, I am hoping maybe we will find a way how we could get a bit more use, just like so. Unfortunately, I do not have the repair, so IMBT is going to farm me just like so. And it's sad, but this is the reality, right? Meanwhile, we have many forces trying to approach us through the every single side and through the every single line, but once again, nothing what we could change there. At this point, we can only wait until Borat will try to approach us like so. This is only one way what we can do, and this is the way how we are playing our battle, right? So we are waiting for Mr. Borat to go for us. Will the Borat be first, or will Defender be first? I truly do not know, but the time will show absolutely everything. Object is capping the base. This is completely understandable, and once again, I get it. Leopard 1 and Borat should try to be involved just like so. Beautiful, Borat is here. Borat noticed that we are paying humongous attention at him, so what that basically means? That basically means he is going to wait until we will go for defender or something. So at this point I am trying to make a bit of pressure for the Mr. Defender. If the things will go well, we should be able to kill him now. Beautiful, Defender is dead. So at this point we need to turn for the Mr. Borat, and hopefully we will be able to smack him. I am going to keep myself sideways because he should try to flank us, and at this point he knows he is doomed. Actually, you know what? I tried to hit the Leo. Unfortunately, we missed our shot, which is quite sad thing, and at this point probably I'm going to be dead meat. Okay, that's fine. Listen, this is the play with a TIE 5 Heavy. Even against the Tier 8s, you need to watch out quite a bit, just in case. Well, you can get flanked, you can get banged, you know, it is not a heavy tank, it is meat pinata. And comparing TIE 5 Heavy against the Mouse is so much better, speaking about the armor, about the gun accuracy, DPM, and all this stuff. So unfortunately, but the TIE 5 Heavy nowadays is just a meatball and nothing else. So in the end of the battle, fellas, we managed to do damage for many tanks, but unfortunately, speaking about the penetrations, we did not had many, or if any at all, right? Which is quite sad thing. Anyways, we got only 2000 damage and 1,200 assisting damage. We are third by the damage, we are second by the experience, and we lost 50,000 credits. This is the TIE 5 Heavy nowadays, especially if you are using this gun. So fellas, I know it looks bad, but there is a reason why this vehicle is rated bad in the index page. Unfortunately, but the TIE 5 Heavy meta is long time gone. F in the comment section down below for the TIE 5 Heavy. Meanwhile, we are teleporting to the round number 2. Let's go. And we are in the round number 2, and we have a special creature with the 2 guns. Scale, no. ST2, really? Absolutely yes. ST2 is a tier 10 tank, which is after obviously the tier 8 and tier 9 double penetrations, and tier 8 double penetration is amazing. In fact, tier 8 double penetration premium is one of the better premium tanks in the world of tanks. The tier 9 double penetration is also amazing. You have speed, you have gun, you have everything. But after tier 9 you are getting this abomination, which is absolutely horrible, at least in my humble opinion. I would rather play with a tier 9 than tier 10, at least that's what I think. Speaking about the gun, 258mm of penetration, 940 shell velocity, and 310 millimeters of heat shell, not even 340 hits, which majority of the Russian tanks has, and obviously the same shell velocity. This is not ideal tank. Only one good thing, at least in my humble opinion, about this vehicle is opportunity to double pen the tank. Speaking about double penetrations, yep, this is the best thing about this vehicle. Armor wise, this tank is very bad because it is literally the STI with a double penetration gun. So you cannot you can't expect you have armor against the tier 10s or the tier 9s, right? This is very important thing to say. And obviously the most competitive way how you are playing with this tank is you are not shooting doubles. And this is extremely important thing to say, fellas. You are not shooting doubles with this tank. You are shooting only singles. And by shooting singles, obviously you are losing opportunity to score a massive alpha damage out of 2 shots, right? Or by going with the doubles, but at least you have a decent DPM, and this DPM is saving you in a way in certain situations, right? Although obviously you can use the things a bit differently. You can shoot shoot a single shot, for example, and then you can go for a double if you think this is the right way to do the things, right? So keep this in mind. Meanwhile, even medium tanks can deal with you with relative ease, although you have a choice to shoot once and after that shoot twice, even though your DPM is kind of decreasing heavily. This situation can work. So, you know, it is kind of hard to predict the double penetrator tank at the first place. This is kind of a bonus for this vehicle, right? Because it is hard to predict what you are going to do. But other than that, I don't really think this tank has bonuses, if any, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, let's kill this object. Unfortunately, we missed our shot, but I did not aim it well myself, so I cannot be too sad about this, right? I cannot be too sad about this. I want to see where he is looking at, and I'm not entirely sure, and I cannot see, unfortunately, at this point, right? So let's wait for a second, and what do we have? We have a Jack Tiger. We are smacking Jack Tiger in the face. Luckily for us, Jack Tiger missed his shot, so we are waiting for another 4. We are not waiting whatsoever. We are going to kill the Bobject, hopefully. Bobject supposed to be dead. Nice, very good. Step by step, little by little, fellas. Just doing some work, right? Well, doing a lot of work, to be fair with you. 3, 2, 1, bam. Unfortunately, we missed the shot. Or I supposed to say we bounced the shot, but that's okay. We have all time in the world of tanks, fellas. There is no need for us to panic. There is no need for us to cry. Meanwhile, how about this Vaza? If he is going to move back, he will die. Or, yep, he is dead. Very nice. Beautiful. How about double penetration for this E5? Because more I think, more I want to go for him. So let's go for a double penetration. What do you think? And kaboom! Beautiful double penetration. This is why this tank can be extremely fun, if you know what I mean. Although the fun is kind of over whenever you are meeting a gentleman who is willing to shoot the gold ammunition for you. And I believe this is completely understandable, and this is not a humongous surprise. Meanwhile, Jack Tiger should sit here on the corner, and I think we can react properly to kill him. Unlucky for us, fellas, unfortunately, but we bounced a very nice shot, at least in my humble opinion. That shot was relatively nice. Anyways, we do not want to die yet. We are not even thinking about going down, right? We want to wait until 60TP will try to peak like this, because there is a humongous chance 60TP will think, ooh, maybe I can peak sideways, right? And if he would do so, we could punish him quite heavily as well, but as you can see, it is not the case. How about this Jack Tiger at this point? Can we punish Jack Tiger? Oh, such a good timing for us. Very bad timing for Jack Tiger, very good timing for us. Can we eliminate him from the game? He is waiting for us now, so I don't really want to peek. Meanwhile, our Leopard is trying to get involved into this, so Leopard just eliminated this guy from the game, which is making our life just tiny touch easier, although the 60DP is still a humongous problem. To be fair with you, we are down to fartable, and it doesn't really matter what tank would hit us. If someone is hitting us, we are pretty much dead meat, and it is a game over for us. Meanwhile, our team is trying to make a bit of pressure for enemy Udas. So what am I thinking at this point? At this point, I am thinking maybe I could support our team in this way, right? Especially if they have someone here. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. We have some time. Meanwhile, Udas, that's kind of a pixel shot, and we can't find this one. Ooh, STB, hello. Actually, Standard B, how are you doing? He is moving through the open field just like so. Can... Oi, 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 Patton. Double. I mean, the most impressive thing of all this was we hit that double, okay? That was the most impressive thing of all this. Okay, so... At this point, I am going to load some gold ammunition, and I believe it is completely clear why we are going to do so. Plus, on top of that, 60 TP just fired, so what that means we could potentially try to go like so and find a nice angle, although it is not so simple and it is not so easy. Okay, wait, we have time. That's what we have, fellas, we have time. Let's try to cross like so. Good. He just fired and he's dead. Excellent. Okay. All we need to do at this point we need to wait here for a moment. What we are waiting for exactly, we are waiting for until this 263 version, this 263 will get spotted. Okay. They have autoloader here, that's understandable. How we can hit him, this is the question. So we are trying to approach him from the different side for obvious reasons, and he's already dead. I suppose to go for a blind shot for this 263 when I'm thinking about this. Still, by any means not a horrible game, right? I would rate this game a very, very, very good game. But this is not ideal. We could play this a bit better. Although compared this tank against the other tanks we played today, actually other tank we played today, Akatai 5 Heavy, this tank is looking like a gem in the ashes, don't you think so? This tank is looking like a gem in the ashes in a way. I'm speaking about our performance and what this tank is capable of doing, but still. Nowadays, I would say this is not the tank which you would call a competitive tank in the world of tanks. At least not in my humble opinion, okay? At least not in my humble opinion. So let's see. Standard B, how are you doing? Double penetration in 3, 2, 1. And this is an important thing to highlight. Fellas, I am missing so many double penetrations with this tank, and this is killing gains completely. I know it is very, very fun to get, let's say, it is extremely fun to get 800, 900 damage, but whenever you are going with a double penetrations, you might bounce all those shots, and by going with a singles, you would be able to continue doing damage. So this is one of the main reasons why I do not really like this tank. Overall, once again, not very great armor, addiction for double penetrations, and overall there is way better vehicles than this in World of Tanks. So what do we have? We have 4.9 thousand damage, 1.6 thousand assisting damage, we are top by the damage, top by experience, and we made 18,000 profits. Great game, I am happy with this performance, but it is far away from being ideal. And last but not least game, let's go. And fellas, last but not least, or maybe least, FAVA 215 barbecue. B stands for barbecue. If you are not burning with this vehicle, you are doing something wrong. And I know it sounds like a joke, but this is how this vehicle is working like. This tank is pretty much Super Conqueror, but weaker in every possible way. So this is worth to highlight, fellas. This tank used to be a Clan Wars vehicle, okay? This tank used to be the tank which people was taking in the Clan Wars. And if you do not have FAVA 215B, you are doing something wrong. How dare you not to have FAVA, right? And I believe top clan players, if you were active 6 years ago, you remember this very, very well. Now what this vehicle has? This vehicle has extremely good gun. It has nice or okay alpha damage, I suppose to say, 259 millimeters of penetration with the standards, 326 millimeters with APCR. Obviously this tank is the most competitive tank with a full gold, and I believe I do not need to highlight this, it is understandable. APCRs are just simply better than APs in many situations, right? And I would say that's completely clear. This tank, I want to be very clear with you, this tank is not the frontline warrior tank. If you want to go in front and beat every single guy, you need to play with a Super Conqueror. This tank is somehow heavy tank slash medium tank slash tank destroyer mix. Why so skill? Because you cannot be too aggressive with this vehicle. Skill, what are you doing? I'm playing aggressively, fellas, okay? I'm just playing aggressively how you should never ever play with this tank. The thing is, we need, whenever we are playing with this vehicle, we pretty much need to rely on enemies making mistakes. And if enemies are not making mistakes, then we are having a very complicated situation, and then we are sitting in a somehow shithole. For example, in this kind of situation, what we can see in this map, enemies are not really making that many mistakes. So we need to get involved, because if we won't get involved, we are not going to get that much use, right? And this is very important thing to highlight. If, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if we are not going to play aggressively here, we are not going to get anything done for ourselves. So we need to be aggressive. Otherwise, it is going to be kind of game over. Meanwhile, we have the Leopard 1 sniping from the back. It doesn't really change too much for us. And we want to find a decent angle to punish this Mr. Foch here, right? It is a very important thing to say. And once again, the tank has a relatively good gun. This tank gun is not bad. This tank accuracy is not bad by any means. But the tank doesn't have absolutely anything else, right? And yes, we can pump that damage to the left and pump that damage to the right. That's completely understandable, right? But that's not enough nowadays to have a good gun, and that's it, you know? You can clearly compare this vehicle against the same, let's say, Key 91, right? Key 91 has somehow decent gun. But having okay gun is not enough. For example, if you would compare Key 91 against, let's say, Leopard 1, right? It's just worse in every possible way. So same goes for FAVA 215B against the Super Conqueror. This tank is just completely out of the meta. Skill, what would you do for this tank to make this more reliable? I would either buff armor frontally, because you can get penetrated however you want frontally, right? Or however enemies want, they can penetrate you frontally. Or alternatively, give better DPM or even better gun handling and make the tank kind of one-trick pony. Aka use the gun and nothing more than that, right? This is only one way how this tank could work, right? At least that's what I want to believe. Meanwhile, Manticore is punishing us. This is not ideal and this is not what we want. And unfortunately, we are losing this battle. We have 3,200 damage, which is not necessarily horrible, but it could be so much better. Although, once again, I suppose that to spam so much more gold if I want to be more competitive with this tank. And that's the fact, fellas. This tank is so much better if you are spamming the full gold ammunition. But the same, you can say the same thing for many tanks. For example, Super Conqueror, you can say literally the same thing. And so on, so on. It is just, you know, unwritten truth in the current world of tanks. The same IS-7 compared the standard ammunition against the APCR aka gold ammunition. It is just, you know, way worse, and nothing what you can change about this. Anyways, we are getting spotted, and I believe that's clear. There is a guy who is sitting here. Luckily for us, he did not penetrate us twice with a hit ammunition, so I am feeling absolutely amazing now. And in the same time, I am lucky. There is nothing more than luck. There is nothing more than luck, fellas. That's why we are still alive. Although we are getting closer for a magical 4,000 damage mark with this tank. So at least that's something, right? Let's keep it up. Let's try to grind as much as we physically and possibly can. And boom, 4,000 damage. Whew. Whew. Fellas, my blood is pumping, okay? My heart is tuk 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 tuk. This is already epic. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic with you, fellas. But to be fair with you, after Type 4, actually after Type 5 heavy gameplay, this looks like improvement, if you would ask me. This is definitely looking like improvement. Okay, there is still a lot of things for us to do. And I believe that's fair to say. The gun accuracy of this tank is, it is amazing. Okay. What do we want to do at this point? At this point, we want to take the red line here. And from red line over there, we should be able to snipe incoming Kranwagen, because this Kranwagen should try to make pressure for us, right? If the Kranwagen will go like this, if the things will go very, very well, we should be able to get couple of extra shots there and there. That's about it. I am very, very well aware of that. I am kind of alone here, but in the same time, I would love to say we could do something else. By the way, one more highlight: you cannot side scrap with this tank because it is a weak spot as well. So there is many bad things, and it's quite easy to take this vehicle down in a way. Anyways, we are waiting until the Kranwagen will make pressure for us, because he will. It is a matter of the time until this gentleman will get involved, because he wants to get more damage, which is completely understandable, and everyone knows that, right? Also, maybe tank destroyers will make a bit of pressure. I don't know. The time will show everything. Enemy Arta found the keyboard for himself, so that's already quite impressive. Meanwhile, Manticore is trying to be aggressive against the IS-7. He just fired and Arta fired. And now, if our IS-7 is going to be lucky, there is a chance he's going to kill this guy. Fellas, pay attention at the hit points. We are not winning this battle, and we are far away from winning this game, okay? And I would love to say, but Skill, make pressure towards the Kranwagen and you will kill him. I wish. I wish, fellas. I wish. Meanwhile, enemy Fava is trying to be a bit aggressive, so that's nice. Next will be high explosive ammunition. I am waiting until I'm not spotted. I'm not spotted. I'm smacking him once again. Luckily for us, he missed his shot, so now we are going to smack him just like so. And does he have a raised PP, or is it my imagination? This is the question. Nah, I don't really think he has raised PP. Okay, very nice. So we eliminated this guy from the game. Boss is down. I repeat, boss is down. So what do we need to do now? We know about enemy Arta, and enemy Arta might try to cack on us, right? And Manticore, meow, bam, Manticore dead, good. I reloaded just in time. Now we are trying to run like this, but in the same time, we know enemy Arta might click us. So we are stopping here for a second. And we know enemy Leo is trying to make pressure like so. Oi oi, oi oi, oi oi. Well, outplayed by the Arta. Nothing to say, nothing to do. Still, great 6,000 damage game. By any means, we cannot say it was horrible or something, but we are not going to win this game, right? Anyways, it is how it is. No complaints, no regrets. Let's teleport into the end of this battle, and let's see what we crafted overall. And we are back with a first class, unfortunately defeat, but we have high caliber. We have 6,000 damage and 600 assisting damage, and we made 8,000 profits. So it worked pretty well, and I am very, very happy with this. So fellas, I believe we made Fava 215B work, and overall we made every single tank work, maybe apart Type 5 heavy, but I am still happy with our performance, what we have done, and I think all in all we played pretty well with those my least favorite heavy tanks. Obviously the star of all this is obviously Fava, because we had the best performance with this tank, and hip hip hooray. So fellas, I hope you are enjoying this type of videos. I am trying to give a bit more variety for you, aka 3 best of, 3 worst of, and we have many plans incoming. We see what tanks are the most favorites overall of the World of Tanks base, right? And believe me, we will have more and more of those videos coming, and I hope you are very well entertained. Remember, you can leave one of those, that helps channel a lot, and thank you very much for watching. See you very soon. That was your daily dose of skill. Peace.